So, another step in getting closer to God is giving. So, I think it's really important because when you give to somebody, especially if they're a grateful person, I mean, it's nice for them, but especially if they're grateful, then and you feel that gratitude, it's really rewarding. So, I think that it's nice that you have the luxury of deciding who you're gonna give to, whether it's well, I mean, I guess with words, you can just say kind things, right? That's nice for anybody at any time. It doesn't cost anything. Same thing with actions. If you're um, going to hold the door for somebody or help somebody, I don't know, an old person in their car with groceries or something like that, that's so nice. And it doesn't cost anything. But if you're going to give somebody money, what I meant by being selective, you don't have to give somebody money just if they're standing on the side of the road asking for it. But if they make the effort or it's somebody in need, it really is rewarding for you, to give to them. And so it's really a gift. It's funny. It's a gift when you're in the position where you could give. It's a gift. Isn't that funny? So several years ago, I wasn't working. I had 3 small children and I couldn't work outside the home. They were like, I had an infant, not well, maybe 2 years old, and then maybe just about 4. And I took them out to eat. I had a really hard, long day with them, and 3 little boys. And I took them to get some dinner. And I wasn't really much of a cook then. I was still trying to learn and figure it all out. And after a long day, we just decided to just grab something. It was just me and the kids. And it was so difficult. So we get there, we just sit down, the baby's crying. My oldest is running all over the restaurant. And then he tells me that he was stung by a bee and he shows me his arm and it's all swollen. And we were waiting for our food and I think they forgot to make it and it was taking forever. And just thinking about it, it's emotional because it wasn't a time in my life where, we really could afford to go out. And but it was also a really struggle because I had small children and there were just some really long days. And this is a day we just needed to eat and just wind up our day, and the food wasn't there. And my son had that bee sting that I didn't even know about. And I was hoping that he was okay. And it was just really chaotic. And so all of a sudden the waitress comes over and she said, I just want to let you know that your bill's been taken care of. I honestly don't think we've even eaten yet. We're still just waiting there because there was a couple at the table next to us and she told me that they took care of the bill. And I mean, this is how many years ago now? 8 years ago? And I still think about it often because it was just such a blessing. And it really was. And I was able to stop them before they left and I told them how much it meant to me and thanked them. And the wife said, oh, it was all my husband. He really enjoys doing things like that for people. And it just really meant a lot to me, as you can see. And so today I was at a restaurant and we had a nice waitress. She did her job. I mean, she was fine. But it was the busser that I was really impressed with because as he was bussing some tables, he was really attentive. So he looked over and he could tell that we needed something. My son kept telling me he wanted water. And so he just locked eyes with us like, is there something I can get you? Because the waitress wasn't around. And so I told him, I said, can you get us some water? And he went over and got water. And then he just kind of paid extra attention to us when he didn't have to. And he was a foreigner, I guess. He didn't speak English. He didn't communicate with us at all. But just his gesture and the fact that he was so attentive, I feel like that's everything, right? The caring is a universal language. You don't need to speak the language. I felt like he could be a waiter, and get these tips because he's just such a good person. And so when we were leaving, I thought, well, I'm in a better position now where I really can help someone. And like in the Bible, it says, even if you can't and you do, like that's even better. Just like that story about I'd have to look it up, but the widow who, I think it was a widow, whatever, she gave to the church, and people were thinking, oh, that's not a lot. But the story is that other people gave from their surplus, but she gave all of what she had. So, but anyway, I wanted to give this guy a tip just because I appreciate it, you know? So I think that you don't necessarily have to give to people that are begging. I feel like that's, that's it. But if they're working for it, or if you could just tell it's somebody in need, I mean, of course, if they're begging, but sometimes you're not so sure if they're going to use it for something healthy, and you want them to use it for something healthy, right? So like my mom, instead of giving them money, will buy them a sandwich if they're really hungry. I'll offer to get them a sandwich, something like that. But anyway, bottom line is, it isn't giving that we receive, right? And so yeah, that's another tip. I mean, it made me feel so good to help that man, and I hope that he was really grateful. And I'm a really expressive person, so if I want to express gratitude, I'm happy and thankful. He didn't really say much, but I don't think he really saw what I was giving him either. So, and most of the time when you do things for people or nice things or encourage them, you're not going to see how it impacts them, right? And sometimes it doesn't unfold for them immediately, and it's later, or something, a nice gesture you did, it'll come back in their memory later. So anyway, no good deeds wasted, and so let's be more generous with our words, our actions, our time, and gifts, and treat each other like the brothers and sisters that we really are.